how about taking shortcuts in a principled approach? We all know that shortcuts never really get us where we want to go over the long term. Here we have views on always wanting more, but wanting to take the easy path to get there, and not realizing that the principles never change. Matt, Pat, and Sonny doing their best Nick Saban. Here it is.
The principles never change. The weight on the bar might be different for an NFL player or the 76-year-old client. The specific goals in terms of being able to do X number of reps with X number of pounds or run a distance, those things are obviously going to be very different. But the underlying principle is the same for an executive client or a professional athlete client. And I get just as excited for those clients to see them, especially, when we talk about the clients that I have that are not professional athletes, some of these guys are incredibly successful. They are the LeBron James of the financial world. Some of these guys, some of them have started, founded, run, and sold their own very successful companies. Some of them are at the helm, presidents and CEOs of large corporations. These guys are the all-stars of their world. Just because it's not, playing sports on TV, it's no less an accomplishment. But to see them come in and set specific goals, work hard at them, endure through the ups and downs, and, whether it's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or sometimes 21 years down the road, to see the change and to see them become better, more well-rounded, people, it's awesome. It's a blessing to go to work every day.
Like, all this stuff is hard. Personal development is hard. It's hard. I say it all the time, like, do the hard work. And so I think a lot of people, we live in a world where people are just looking for the easy way out. And there's this scapegoat culture and take the pill and the thing's done. And, I was just reading on Farnham Street, I forget what Shane Parrish, how he framed it up, but it's like, you can basically be an owner and be proactive in your life, or you can be like reactive. Oh, this always happens to me. Woe is me. And I just think that we are almost tragically like indoctrinated culturally to look for shortcuts. And the problem is shortcuts never get you, they don't get you far, because you're never building the skills, the resilience, the knowledge, the network, the internal sense of agency to then like have the confidence and to have the optimism to then just face up to whatever it is that confronts you. And I think a lot of it is that, which is that I think bringing that attitude to bear every day, it's like this really amazing spiral up self-reinforcing cycle, right? Where you're like, okay, I saw myself, and I'll take it back to sports. I mean, I saw myself get my ass kicked on that play and then get up and then kick that guy's ass the next play.
I think that's like the biggest issue with humanity right now, is not knowing what you want and having it be so externally influenced, right? I think the challenges with life in itself is that because we don't know what we want, there's a concept of more. There's a concept of that I need to consistently achieve more and more and more and more. And that could be the nicer car, the nicer house, the better education for my kids, the better education for myself, the more travel experiences, the more whatever it is. It could be the more food in my fridge. It could be the bigger TV. It could be all these things. But the challenge with it, so much of this is externally influenced, and perhaps through social media, perhaps through friend groups, or perhaps that just the way we're sort of wired in society right now. It's almost inherited, or I would call it like more of a social heredity. It's like we're programmed to consistently want more. And when you're in this realm of always wanting more, you're never enough. Mm-hmm. Like that's the biggest issue. So finding that the real fine line of balance in life is the excitement for what the future will unfold for you, which will be more or less depending on the way you're going to look in it. But it's just going to be different than your current present, but at the same time being content with everything that's going on. And I think that's like the biggest challenge. And I mean, that's something I struggle with constantly, right? This the struggle of being in a capitalistic environment is the concept of more.
Those guys could give Saban a run, especially Pat.